What did my son do when my husband told him men don't cry during a movie and my son had thoughts? Friday night movie night. We are watching a film. It is a good film. It has a dog in it. The dog does what dogs in movies do. My 10-year-old son Otto tears up. He is not crying. He is tearing up. He is doing very well. He is a dignified 10-year-old managing his emotions with maturity. My husband Ross sees this. Ross says, "Buddy, it's just a movie. Men don't cry over movies." He says it not unkindly. He says it like advice. Otto looks at Ross. He blinks. He looks at the screen. He blinks again. He reaches into the couch cushion. He has a notebook in the couch cushion. He has started keeping notebooks in locations throughout the house. This is a couch notebook. He has a kitchen notebook. There is reportedly a bathroom notebook. He opens the couch notebook. He writes something. He looks at Ross. He says, "Dad?" Ross says, "Yeah, bud." Otto says, "Who made that rule?" Ross says, "It's just..." Otto says, "Who made it?" He looks at Ross. Ross thinks. He says, "It's just a thing." Otto writes, "It's just a thing." He shows Ross. He says, "That's not a source." Ross looks at the TV. He says, "It's a social thing." Otto writes, "Social thing." He shows him. He says, "Is it a good social thing or a bad social thing?" Ross opens his mouth. He closes it. Otto says, "The dog was loyal for 10 years. He says, "The dog waited." He says, "The end of that scene is objectively moving." He looks at Ross. He says, "What part of being a man makes that not moving?" Ross says, "It's not that it's not moving. It's..." Otto writes, "It's not that it's not moving." He shows Ross. He says, "So you agree it's moving?" Ross says, "Sure." Otto writes, "Ross agrees. Scene is moving." He shows him. He says, "Then the response to something moving is to feel moved." He says, "That's just biology, Dad." He says, "Tears are a biological response." He holds up his phone. He has the Wikipedia page for crying pulled up. He has had it pulled up. He prepared for this moment. He reads one line. He does not read the whole article, just one line. He reads it. He looks at Ross. He says, "It's a neurological response to emotional stimuli." He puts the phone down. He says, "Your neurological system works the same way mine does." He looks at Ross. He says, "It's not a man thing." He says, "It's a human thing." Ross looks at Otto. He says, "Okay." He says, "I wasn't trying to." Otto says, "I know." He says it clearly. He says, "I know you weren't trying to make it bad." He says, "I just don't want to believe men don't cry when evidence suggests they do." He shows Ross the notebook. He's made a list. He says, "Men I have personally seen cry." He reads the list. He reads Ross's name. He reads the date. He reads Toy Story 3 end scene Ross definitely crying. He shows it. He says June 14th. Ross stares at the date. He says, "You wrote that down in June?" Otto says, "I started the list in June." He says, "You were crying, Dad." Ross says, "I was not." Otto holds up his phone. He has a video. It is not long. It is Ross from the side. You can see his face. There are tears. They are definitely tears. Otto has had this video since June. He saved it. He labeled it. Ross watches the video. He watches himself crying at Toy Story 3. He watches for 4 seconds. Otto stops the video. He puts his phone in his pocket. He looks at Ross. He says, "The list has 6 entries." Ross looks at Otto. He says, "6 times?" Otto says, "That I documented." He says, "I stopped counting once. I didn't document." Ross is quiet for a while. The movie is still playing. The scene has passed. There is a lighter scene now. Ross watches it. Then he says, "I shouldn't have said that to you." Otto writes, "Shouldn't have said that." He shows Ross. He says, "Retracted?" Ross says, "Retracted." Otto nods. He writes, "Retracted." He closes the notebook. He looks at the screen. He says, "Also, Dad." Ross says, "Yeah." Otto says, "The dog comes back." Ross looks at the screen. He says, "What?" Otto says, "In the next scene, Ross's face does something." Otto watches it happen. He opens the notebook. He writes, "Ross, preparing to cry." He writes the time. He writes the date. He writes the movie title. Ross looks at him. He says, "Are you documenting this in real time?" Otto says, "Always."